This is the Truth Network.
Bible Wonders of Habakkuk. Digging around in the Yud verse today in Habakkuk chapter 1. That would be the 10th verse. And the Yud is that beginning of the word hand. It's like the hand of God in its own way. And I'm sure you can see that's kind of what's going to go on here. So here we have the 10th verse in English reads, "And they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold. They shall heap up dust and take it." So clearly, wow, this is a real interesting set of words here. As I saw these, it kind of blew my mind because the word scoff is very much connected to the word scorn and deriding. All those words are unoxidizing or, making fun of statutes. It's interesting that what, you would consider to be most holy in your world, these people are making fun of. In other words, these people have put their hope in their kings, their armies. The Jews have put all their hope in their strongholds, in their buildings, and all these things. But these kings coming from Babylon, they're going to scoff and scorn all that. And, they needed the Lord as their strong tower. They, and they listened to Jeremiah and Isaiah and all these things. But instead, they trusted in their kings. They trusted in their princes. And here the Babylonians are simply going to scoff. They're going to scorn. They're going to mock. This is like they're a flea onto the power of this. And clearly, if we put our, I wrote this as I was thinking about this. It was like, oh my goodness, when we are in trouble, who do we turn to, right? Who are you going to call? Probably not clodbusters, but as I wrote this, I thought, oh my goodness, look at this, because how many times when I trust, these are the things I trust with. So I went, when war breaks out, we turn to our government. Or violence or lawlessness, we turn obviously to the police, to the government. When we get sick, we turn to our doctors. And our doctors sometimes can be a laughingstock for sure. Financially, if we get sick, we turn to the bankers. Worse, if we get sick legally, we turn to the lawyers. Need I say more? I have some wonderful lawyer friends in my life. And I understand that here, these are people that interestingly find themselves in it. If we get mentally sick, we turn to psychiatrists, right? Or if we get spiritually sick, we turn to the minister, the pastor, or Lord Jesus, help me, and I couldn't mean this more sincerely, help me to turn and trust in you. And so I ended up on this verse studying the word turn, which has to do with a pay, which is your face, and then a nun, which has to do with faith. Like, where do you turn? Where do you put your faith when the ox is in the ditch? When things go awry. And here, obviously these Babylonians, these clodbusters, are going to make fun of who you have turned to, okay? And the word trust is a het and a samic, which is like very close to the word hesed, right? Because it's a het and a samic, and a dalid is the word hesed. But trust is just like that word where you're united to this unbelievable strength, which is God, and it's expressed where, hesed is that merciful God that David said, surely goodness and mercy, that hesed, that servant of, God's united power that he has for us. And so, oh my goodness, I mean, you man, I think about, I'm going to turn to all these different people. And I have in my life very, very godly people that I turn to in such situations. My doctor is Terry Deacle, and a very godly, wonderful Christian man. When I had cancer and all, I turned to him undoubtedly. When I have legal problems, I turn to an amazing lawyer I have, Adam Draper, one of my favorite friends in all the world. We talk Hebrew all the time. I have people that I turn to, and financially I have Hans Scheil, who is just a spectacular man of God and financial counselor. But as I really think about all these people that, wow, the first person I should always, 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 always turn to is the lover of my soul. And I can't help but think of the 16th Psalm, where he just starts out, "Oh Lord, in whom I trust, preserve me. Oh Lord, in whom I trust. My soul has said to you, you're my God." Those statements are a place where I have to, not just go first thing in the morning, but I got to go, more and more and more and more. Somehow or another, I push that faith into God and not into all these other structures that the world puts their faith in. Because, man, the cloudbusters are going to come, and there's going to be stronger. There's going to be somebody, there's going to be a stronger banker. There's going to be a stronger lawyer. There's going to be a stronger government. There's going to be a stronger whatever, than you're facing. But there ain't nobody that's going to be stronger than God. And so when it comes to a hand that I'm going to turn to, a yid, right? That, in fact, you might hear the Jewish people referred to as their Yiddish because they consider themselves to be the hand of God. That's pretty cool. I would like to be considered the hand of God, but in order to be the hand of God, I got to be connected to God, and I got to turn to God, or otherwise, then I got to turn to other people that I also know will turn to God, right? When it comes to doctors and lawyers and bankers and government and officials and those kind of things, oh man, we desperately need, right? Hesed, we need this unbelievable force, and we need statutes that can't be mocked. It blows my mind that their kings were mocked. But man, if they had mocked David, a real king, or mocked Jesus, then this would not be good, because God does not look lightly on people that mock his people. The first time you see this word mock, the very word that they use for scorn here, is the boys that mocked the prophet, that said, "Come up here, old bald head." You remember what happened? The bear came. The bear, right, and mauled them because they had mocked God's man. Well, that if they'd mocked David, or if they mocked Jesus, he's fully able to protect his own. And so we're going to leave, what God's going to do to those who mock us, right? And follow the statutes that are actually clinging to the holiness of God, not the holiness of all these other people or other organizations or other structures. But, what a beautiful opportunity we have, when I had cancer, when the dealership crumbled and I needed a lawyer, all these things, I had plenty of opportunity, right, to turn to people like this where we put our trust. But, oh my goodness, at the end of the day, we desperately need to turn our face towards one we really have faith in, and that would be God, and enjoy, right, and trust right there with complete faith in what he's going to do. I hope this helps you. It sure helps me. Thanks for listening